Hey guys, finally I can make a new video about Endless Grade. I was actually waiting for the new update and the new mode to come out because I think it's gonna change PvE and PvP a little bit, but it's not out yet and it's almost the end of the month, so I decided to go ahead and make my monthly tier list video. Also stick to the end of the video because I'm gonna talk about the next update a little bit. I managed to get some spoiler from the staff of the game. It's nothing too crazy, I cannot go into too much details, but it's still some news, some spoiler that I can give you about the update. Hopefully it's going to be very soon, so I hope you're going to find it interesting. I'm very excited about it, so I hope you're going to be too. And yeah, as usual, remember to like the video, subscribe if you're not, and let's get into it. So, as usual, this video is going to be made based on my progress that I made in the game so far. Compared to last month, I think I was around stage 4000, now I'm at 5600. I'm not exactly stuck, but I decided to wait because again, I was waiting for the new update because I think it's gonna make my life easier because right now pushing stage is hell, I hate it. And what else? I pushed from floor 900 to 1100 in Endless Tower. I don't remember about my Elemental Tower, I'm probably gonna put some screenshot. For PvP, I'm still usually I can finish the Divine Arena around rank 8 or 6 was my best result. Usually I stay between 8 and 20 depending on how many people attack me in the last 10 seconds of the season. And yeah, so that's about it for the progress. Now, I already put the TRC unit in order from the one that I think are more useful to the one that are less useful. As you can guess, the one that I put last is a dark and light unit for the simple reason that this kind of unit, if you don't invest into them, they're not going to be useful because they level up too slow in the game compared to other units. So for this reason, they always here at the bottom, not because they're not good, but because I never had a chance to try them. And so yeah, that's about it, like usual. Then for the character, they go from Amara to Lina. It's character that I didn't have a chance to use even in Divine Tournament. It's like I never use them in any PvE mode, but also I'm starting to use more unit to try different team in Divine Tournament. But even then, this character I didn't get a chance to use them for now, so they are still in C tier. Now, when it comes to Suri, from Suri to Nora, I'm actually using right now most of this character in my Divine Tournament team. For that reason, I put them at the top of C tier. They kind of all are at the same, like in the same spot for me. There's not like Suri is more important than Nora or something like that. They're all at the same level for me. I'm starting to get all my unit around plus 20, plus 21, so I can actually use the last level of their skill, and some of them are becoming quite useful, like Victoria and Luna. It's quite interesting, so maybe in the future they're gonna move. For now, they're still C tier, but at least I get a chance to use them now, and it's nice. It's finally a little bit of like something new in my team because I was a little bit bored of using always the same unit. Now let's get quick to B tier. This is the same, by the way, this is the same order, like the same character in the same tier list that I used in the previous one. So I'm gonna change eventually going from, like starting from the previous one. I think Dracula and Jormungand are still here, same for Brienne and Peerless, for the simple reason that I didn't decide yet which light or dark unit I want to invest into. I was super confident to go for Peerless, but now because there's gonna be a new mod and it's gonna be PvE and not PvP, I'm leaning towards Brienne a little bit more. I have accumulated almost 400 shard. I think when I reach 500, I'm gonna start using them because it's a lot and it's annoying to save up so many universal shard. And just waiting, trying to be patient for the new mode because I want to check how things are and decide what is the best light or dark character for me to invest into. So for now, they're still at the bottom of B tier. I moved them a little bit from the last video. Then from here up, so from Hedy to Ilia, this is all character that I'm currently using in my Divine Tournament team. For the reason they are in B tier and they perform, at least for me, they perform a little bit better than the C tier. I'm actually surprised about Eddie. Recently I managed to rank him up a little bit more than usual, like than before, and he's actually quite decent. I was a little bit surprised. Leonardo is nice for the debuff that he provides, and Skadi is always useful because she targets the enemy priest with the freeze. Arthur, as we all know, is very good in PvP. I still B tier for me because I didn't get a chance to focus on him. I don't think he's gonna be in my wish list anytime soon because I'm not planning to invest into him, but he's a very, very good unit and a lot of people have him plus 30 in Divine Tournament and he's like very, very strong. Same for Ilia, she's very, very good in PvP for now in Divine Tournament, not for the main team of course, but for the second, mostly for the third team. So I'm actually happy that I can finally use some warrior and they're being decent. Now, when it comes to Lydia, I think she's still the top B tier for me. She's been quite useful in different PvE mode. I'm not using her right now in Divine Tournament. I used to try before to put her in my team, but I think for now there are other heroes that are just better for me. And for Roman, I would say he's gonna move up around here. I actually found Roman more and more useful while I was like I was still pushing for stages. Is quite strong in PvE. Is very good for buffing the damage because at this point at stage 5000, especially after 5000, I think it was 5400. It's even with Flora being plus 30, having a lot of damage, she still need at least 2 skill to kill the enemy boss. So it's very difficult now to kill the enemies because I cannot one shot them anymore like I was doing until like stage, I think it was 5000 or so, something like that. So now that it's getting more difficult, I need more unit that can boost the damage of Flora, and Roman has been one of my favorite, especially for the stages with the 6 mob. So it's definitely moved up to A tier for me, which is funny because when I did my first video, like tier list, I think he was a C tier for me, and I never had a chance to use him before. So it's a character that surprised me in a very nice way, and definitely I think it's A tier for me right now. Now let's move to Devin. I think unfortunately I really like this character, but I'm using him less and less. So I would say for now I can move him to B tier. He's not being particularly useful anymore, simply because there are other characters that I need more. Again, at this point it's not even about CC, but it's more about boosting the damage for me. And so for this reason I think Devin is gonna move down to B tier. Ines, or Ines, I always forget how to pronounce this one. It's kind of like in the same spot. I still think I can leave her in A tier just because I use her a little bit more in Divine Tournament compared to Devin. But yeah, the situation is very similar. At this point, I don't really need damage reduction anymore for PvE. And she's useful in PvP, but compared to everybody else in A tier, I think she's losing a little bit points. But she's still good. She's still very, very good. I still really like this unit, this hero. Kyle, I think Kyle has been a little bit more useful. Now, unfortunately, my Kyle is only plus 19, but the fact that, no, plus 20 or plus 19, is not plus 21 for sure. That's what I remember. So the fact that Kyle is so useful and so good, even if he's not plus 21, which is when he get a buff on his skill, it means that for me he's A tier. Like it's very, very useful character. I am not using him a lot now in stage push because I think he's not ranked up enough, but for a lot of other modes is very useful, and so I feel like it's still A tier for me. Maybe I would say maybe Roman is being a little bit more useful, but still I will keep Kyle in A tier. I think he's going to be even more useful in the future. Desire and Lilith, I think again like Ines and Devin, they're losing a little bit of points for me because right now they're not ranked up enough to be as useful as before. While I'm pushing the game, it's getting more difficult to use units that are under leveled, especially when it comes to light and dark. So I would say Lilith for sure is still A tier. She's in the same spot as Ines. Desire, I'm gonna leave him at the end of A tier. I think it's something between low A tier and up B tier, but he's still being quite useful, especially for Elemental Tower because I don't have a replacement for now. And I also use him for Divine Tournament. It's again, it's as I always say in my video, he's a very good character that can be useful even at like low rank. So definitely, if you invest into him, it's gonna be amazing. He's gonna be a super strong unit. But for now, unfortunately, I don't have time or resources to invest into him. Then we're gonna move to the top of A tier. They all in the same spot. Like Izzet is being amazing so far for pushing stage, Elemental Tower, PvP, both Standard Arena and Divine Tournament. I actually put Izzet in my what's the name, in my wish list for now because I want to push her at least to plus 26, but hopefully plus 30 in the future. It's gonna take a long time, but I think she's worth it. And then we have Maeve. I finally managed to make Maeve plus 21. She's super strong. The skill is amazing, and she's gonna be even stronger at plus 24 because of the talent. And she's being like super important for PvE for now. Like without Maeve and this set, I will not be able to push at this point in the game. Galadriel is being super useful for Endless Tower. Every time I get stuck, I swap Evelyn with Galadriel and I manage to progress. So she's being amazing for me, and she's also super good and useful in Divine Tournament. So definitely A tier, and I think in the future my wish list is gonna be Iset, Maeve, and Galadriel. I think Adran is also very, very good for the simple reason that mine is like, what, plus 19, I think? And that's enough. Like, I don't feel like I need more rank, more level on Adran. She's already providing a very amazing, of course, if she goes up to plus 26, it's gonna be better, obviously. But I feel like she's already providing very, very good value for the team. I think plus 19 is gonna be enough to finish Endless Tower and stage push. So in case you don't know, for now, Endless Tower has 1200 floor and stage push has 6000 stage. So I'm missing about a little bit less than 100 floor on the tower and what? I'm 500 stage, pardon, 500 stages in stage push. And again, yeah, she's amazing because I don't even feel like I need to push even more for Adra. She's already good enough. STR is the same as usual. Let me see. I think right now, because I made Evelyn plus 30, she's a little bit better than Lilian because my Lilian is still plus 28, I think. But again, this is STR. They're all super strong, super good, and super useful for me. Lilian, as always, she's a big surprise in Divine Tournament because sometimes I lose against people just because their Lilian plus 30 stays alive and my team dies against the Spirit. It always makes me super mad. Evelyn is an amazing character from the moment I installed the game. The stun is amazing and she provides also decent damage considering that she's a CC unit and not a damage dealer. Delia, I don't think I even have to explain. She's amazing. The poison is fantastic, and she also has a talent that the more she's like, the lower the HP, the higher the attack. So that's amazing because she's actually a damage dealer, even if it's not on the same level as Flora or Sophia. I mean, in some mode, yes, in some mode she can surpass Sophia for sure, like Sino. And then solo, as usual, I don't have to explain at this point. You already know is a must. Like it's a mandatory unit that you need if you want to progress almost anywhere in this game. The same goes for Sophia. Flora, as usual, after like stage 3000, 3500 is a must. Super, super strong, super useful. And without Flora, I wouldn't be able to push stages as much as I did. And now, before we finish the tier list, as you can see probably from the bottom of the video, I put two new units that are not SSR, but they're actually SR. And it's two units that I'm actually using, especially for stage push. And it's Tira that I would say is a very high B tier. And I actually had to introduce Tira because of her talent. It's a character that boosts the damage of your damage dealer. And I had to introduce her because, again, as I mentioned before, Flora at this point lacked the damage to one-shot the boss. Any hero lacked the damage to one-shot the boss. And for this reason, I needed more unit to boost the power of my damage dealer, and Tira was one of these units. I put her into B tier and not A tier for a very simple reason. She's a priest, and I already have 2-star red shoes into the equipment of every class that I have, like every class of the game. And despite that, because she's SR, she's lower than my mage. So every time I need to find a way to make my mage a little bit slower to make sure that Tira is gonna skill before the mage. It's a little bit annoying, and only for that reason I decided to put her into B tier. Otherwise she would be A tier for sure, but because of that it's a little bit tricky and it's annoying. I decided to put her into B tier because I understand if some people don't want to use her because of that reason. That also need to change the pet, like the slime, and you have to give her a diviner or astro when you use her because it's super important for her to skill. I mean, there are some compositions where you don't need her skill, just the talent, but the point where I'm at, I actually also need the skill. So yeah, for this reason it's B tier. And then we have Alice. I would say at this point I would say Alice is A tier for me. And the way you use Alice is super easy. You just put her as a front tank and wait for the enemy to one-shot her. And with her last talent, she can freeze, she has a chance, of course, to freeze the enemy. And my Alice is very under-leveled. It's like only plus 12 now. Despite that, she's being a core unit for my stage push. Like, if I didn't have Alice in my team, I mean, I could still progress, most likely, but it would be so much slower. Like, I managed to progress fairly fast for my standard in PvE, thanks to Alice in stage push, because it just, at this point, stage is very annoying. It's mostly just RNG. It's just like you have to pray that most of your CC, if not all, get in, and so the boss and also sometimes the monster get stunned or frozen or petrified, etc. And Alice is like very, very useful, very, very good at that. And so yeah, for this reason I think at least right now she's A tier. I also noticed that a lot of higher level player than me use her in Divine Tournament. I think when I can make like when she can reach a higher rank, I will also do that because I think she's quite useful. Unfortunately, it's quite difficult to rank her up because she like we don't have universal shard for SR rarity hero. I hope they're gonna be introduced in the future. And but yeah, if they get introduced, I'm gonna use all of them to make Alice plus 30 because she's very, very good in my opinion. And yeah, that's it for the update on the tier list. And now we're gonna talk about the new mode. I don't know when it's gonna be released. Hopefully it's gonna be very soon. And so what we know so far is that it's gonna be an entire new mode, and it's gonna be about boss. I don't know like how much details I can give, but I think I can tell you that it's gonna be 10 heroes and not 6. Like every mode we have now is like team of 6. This one is gonna have a team of 10, and it's gonna be, of course, based on the damage that you do, that your team does. You're gonna have different reward, kind of like it work with Casino right now. Other than the new mode, there's also gonna be a new equipment that is gonna be called Relic, and to get the relic, of course, you're gonna need the reward that you get from the new boss mode. Of course, the new equipment, these relics, is gonna be. This is what I meant when I said that I was waiting for the update, because it's gonna improve your performance in both PvE and PvP. Because obviously, a new type of equipment is gonna give you different type of bonus, and that's gonna make the situation easier. Especially, I hope for stage push, because stage push right now is very broken. Like I really don't like the situation when it comes to stage push. And so yeah, this is what it's gonna be. It's gonna be a new boss mode, and based on the damage you're gonna get reward. With the reward you're gonna get a new equipment. It's gonna get called Relic, and it's gonna improve your stats of your heroes and stuff like that. Kind of like the equipment that we already have is working right now. It's gonna make your life easier. Like it's already, after the equipment that we have now, stage push became much better. I cannot imagine pushing without equipment, but this one is also going to improve the situation more, so I'm very happy about it. I'm very excited about the new update, and I cannot wait to try. Like, because now if we have 10 heroes, it's going to be so many new different team and composition that we can make. It's going to be super cool. And so yeah, that is also why I'm waiting before deciding which year I want to invest into, because if you didn't have this update, I would go for Peerless, because PvP, like Divine Tournament, was the new thing that was introduced when, I think, in July, and I wanted to improve my position and my defense and offensive team in Divine Tournament. But now, knowing that there's gonna be a new PvE mode, of course I want to make sure that my next Light and Dark hero is gonna be someone that can not only help me in PvP but also in PvE, because I want to get an improvement in both sides now. I don't only care about PvP anymore like before. Hopefully in the next video, like maybe not the next month, because I don't know when it's gonna be the future update after this one, but in the future I hope I can give you more detail, and I can provide maybe like some screenshot and stuff like that. I asked for now, but it was not possible. But yeah, hopefully in the future. Let me know in the comment what do you think about the new event. Of course, if you have any question, feel free to ask. As usual, I will try to answer to everybody. And also a big thanks to the staff that gave me this little bit of information, and that it was approved that I could share it with you. I'm very happy to do that, and yeah, I'm very excited for the next update, guys. I cannot wait anymore. I hope it's gonna be soon, because I really, really want to try out the new mode. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. See you in the next video. Bye bye.